Starting the show. It started. What?
What's this
Video. You find it? Oh.
Alright.
You got nothing? I got nothing either. Whoa, shoot. Oh. Did you get a notification?
No.
Oh, well, we got one guy. So he
Okay.
apparently got the notification. I got my fingers crossed.
Yes, I got it.
You got the notification?
That's right.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Eric, say hi, guys.
Ah, so good stuff. Let me go a little wider. We'll zoom back out.
A little bit. Right there.
Okay.
No, it's too much.
No, we'll zoom back in later. All right, so fun. Normally we have music.
What's up, Wayne? What's
music?
going on? Yeah.
Should we be going ding, ding, ding,
I'm gonna
ding,
sing
ding,
right
ding?
now.
I'll go ahead and get these out of the way. Teespring/store/5-star. Boom, look at that. Ooh, DSP time. That's right, Sean. D&F Tool Drawer is a cool place where you can find stuff like foam. You guys someone asked this week, where do they find that foam? It's on D&F Tool Drawer. That's where we keep cool stuff like that.
Air compressor is off. Thank you. Yes.
Patreon, thank you guys so much. I know we've been lacking on the video. I have one. It's coming. So, yeah, just bear with me. It's been a fun week. I still sound like crap.
Vancouver, Canada. What's going on?
5-star stickers at yahoo.com will get you a cool sticker. And then, of course, the podcast, iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. Now, we're going to jump right into it because we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Of course, we're going to be answering your questions and doing all that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of DB Drive? DB Drive.
DB Drive. I used to sell DB Drive.
Did you?
Yeah.
I've honestly done really
a lot of
nothing
them,
with it.
like loudspeakers.
Loudspeakers and stuff.
It's just loudspeakers. That's
yeah,
it.
so I mean, it's yeah. I mean, I guess
It works.
If you like loudspeakers, it's
Yeah.
probably good stuff.
Mhm.
Voice is still shot.
What's up, Johnny?
But so this is gonna Bobby. What's going on? So and also real quick. So the winner from last week was a YouTuber. Sorry, we lost the Facebook video. I'm not gonna lie. We have no idea. But so next week's definitely gonna be a Facebook guy. Scott Edick. Edick. You're the winner of the polarity tester. Make sure if you go and check the comment. Make sure you guys have your email notifications turned on, especially on YouTube. So, like, when I comment back and say, hey, you're a winner, you actually get the email and that you mail me. Because there's still 2 of you guys out there on YouTube that won and haven't responded back. So, lots of fun there.
Happy holidays to you.
What's up from Kansas?
What's that? Yeah.
There ain't no place like home. Anyways, we want to get right into it. So as we said, we're going to start talking about DSPs.
Mm-hmm.
We thought we'd start the whole series off with the Kicker DSP. We have a bunch of DSPs that we're going to go through. Basically, we're going to see how this works, see if this is do more podcasts. I know, Bobby, they're coming. It doesn't do me any good to talk right now for a podcast because it just sounds terrible.
What do you think about the new Elevate head unit? Da-da-da-da-da-da. Which one? This one?
I don't even know
Elevate. No, it's backwards.
There it is.
Backwards.
This one right here. Expect a full review as soon as my voice gets back to normal. But yeah, we got one here. We just got it this week, so
it's still in the box.
Still in the box because I can't talk. So I don't want to do a video that's going to be up there for 2 years with me sounding like a guy that smokes 6 packs of marbles a day.
Sounds like one. Is that from London?
Not that I'm aware of as far as getting involved in the $150 SPL challenge.
Really, what's going on?
Yeah, because we really don't build boxes, so I don't know what would be the point of us getting involved in that.
No.
Maybe just talk to Sean. Maybe I'll front Sean. Get him involved.
Cincinnati's in the house.
That might be a good idea. I'll check into that. I might sponsor Sean. That might be a good idea.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
why not?
Thank you. You catch the show, Michael.
So, anyways. This is going to be the start of the DSP.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to zoom back in a little bit so you guys can get a closer view of what's going on here. Now, some of the things we know when you're broadcasting a TV onto another TV isn't exactly going to be the best. But I figure you'll kind of get the idea. Basically, it says load, firmware update, previous, and next. We're just going to hit select next. Now, that was neat. I jumped. So what you're going to do on this page is you're going to tell it what kind of amplifier you're going to choose. In this case, we have a 5-channel amplifier, which is this guy right here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as we go on, we're going to talk more about this because this is a really neat system in place that no one else has technology kind of like that. So right now for this, we're just going to use the 1 amp, and we'll get why that's important in a minute. So we're going to pick the 5 channel. We're going to select next. Now it's asking us, are we going to be bridging any of these channels? So are we going to turn it into a 3 channel? Or are we going to keep it a 5 channel? What are we doing? So that's what you're going to select here. We're going to just leave it as a 5 channel. We'll select next. Now, are we going to be running inputs? Meaning, are we just going to be running front inputs? So if we're using this as a 5 channel, it's where we're going to 2 channels for tweeters, 2 channels for mid, and a sub. We really only need 1 channel input, so we'd select fader off, which is what we'll do for right now. Amp source for subwoofer, we're going to say there's a sub input. If not, we could just pair it off of channel 1, channel 2 inputs, which is the set, by the way. It's not left and right, it's a set. So it's amp 1, amp 2 subwoofer. We'll select next. We're just going to bang through these real quick. Now it's asking us, what are these speakers each going to be? So we have left front full range, right front full range. And if we select the drop down menu, you'll see a ton of little words pop up here, full range. We could pick left front tweeter, left front mid bass, center channel, right front mid, right tweeter. So we can make those 5 channels pretty much anything we want. For this, we'll pick left front tweeter, and then we'll pick right front tweeter. And there again, we don't have to put tweeter and mid on the same channel. I mean, tweeter on 1 and 2. We can actually make this tweeter, and we can make this mid. What's up from Vegas?
What's going on?
Then we'll go down here and we'll select left front mid, and we'll select right front mid. And then subwoofer is going to stay the same. All right, so now it's asking us what size speakers do we have. That's right, this is a lot of setup, and the setup is key for most DSPs. We'll say we have a big 1-inch tweeter, because big 1-inch tweeters are cool. And then we can pick what size speaker we're going to run. So let's say we're going to put in a new truck, and it's got 6x9s in the front door. We'll go ahead and select those. And then we're going to run some 10s off of that. So we'll go ahead and select 10 for the subwoofer size, and we'll select next. Now, what it wants us to do on this page is set up the time alignment. Now, in some amplifiers, you do the time, or some DSPs, you do the time alignment later on and whatnot. There again, as you guys will see going forward in this, is that some, like the Audison, like this, they want you to set that time alignment up here in the setup for the amplifier. Not that you can't go back and do it at a later date, but I will say it is, or a later time for that matter, but this is a heck of a lot better to do it here. Now, we just so happened to do an F-150 earlier in the day, so we have some time numbers. So we're going to go ahead and put our time numbers in. So the driver's front speaker was, the tweeter was 33.
Yeah.
The mid-range
was
52.
52, sorry.
I'm sorry, that was my bad. And then the mid-range on the front was 34. No, it was 41. 41. Okay, I'm on your page. I see what you were saying.
Okay, what are you talking about?
I know. Give me a minute here. Remember, this is live education. And then what was the
passenger? 57.
So we got 57, and then we're going to come down here, and the subwoofer was 45. So just to recap, the tweeter was 33. The driver's mid-bass, the front driver's tweeter was 33. The passenger was 52. The front driver mid-bass was 41. 57 was the passenger. 45 was the sub. It was a pickup truck. And we'll select finish. Now we're done. Now we've gone ahead and we've set up the basics for everything here.
And you can see how it changed right here, your layout.
Yeah. And it's highlighting this tweeter right here. So this is what this setting is for right now, is for that. Now down here are your crossovers.
We measure from the speaker to the ear.
Yes.
In this situation, we make that measurement.
Very good, thank you. Sorry, I didn't clarify on that. Now down on here, on this, okay, so a lot of DSPs are set up this way, where you have a layout of the speakers. Somewhere in a smaller box is the crossover, but this is your EQ. This is really cool. This is not this. Well, it is kind of common on most, but a lot of them don't take up this much space. So they're taking up a heck of a lot of space here. And then this up top is going to be your graphical representation. This guy over here. This is the weird thing on the Kicker. Most DSPs you turn down. On the Kicker DSP, you turn up. So it's kind of weird how you're setting that up. It's kind of backwards thinking because most of the time you set your gain and then you start gaining down. But if you need to, you can. So like for example, if the tweeter on the driver's side was too loud, you would gain down. Now you're going to gain up the passenger side. So you got to kind of switch your thinking there. You can also turn on and off the EQ. We're going to come over here to the crossover. So because we told it what size speakers, it's kind of thought about what it wants you to do just in case. We're not going to leave that. We're going to come over here. We're going to select Liquids Riley. And then we're going to, because we're going active, we're going to set it for 24 dB. So that's a helpful hint. If you're doing full active, 24 dB, Links Riley. Nothing else, because you'll have a phasing issue if you don't. Phasing issue stuck.
And you see how it changed like right away over there.
Yeah, this is where you're looking. So look on this point right here, and we'll go ahead and we'll change that.
X-Men is in the house.
So there's your 12. There's your 24. Now we'll go ahead and we'll change our crossover. We're going to go ahead and put it at 3200 and hit enter.
Okay, so Sean say, I thought boosting introduced clipping.
Boosting does introduce clipping, but that's the thing. Like I said, it's a backwards school of thought here. Don't think of it as boosting, because most of the time you're going to set your gains up for a gain overlap, let's say -5 or -10. All right? Basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be doing that here first, okay? So then you're going to gain down. So in reality, this says 0, but more than likely you're just going to go ahead and put everything, because you're going to gain up, you're going to do your overlap. So you're going to find your clipping point, which is, let's say, there. Now you're going to go ahead and start bringing that down. The gain is this. So it's just different thought process. I know, and that's the weird thing on it. So if you were setting everything from, let's say, -5 dBs of gain overlap. Now, what I mean by -5 dBs of gain overlap is if you play a track at 1,000 hertz, 0 dB. That means that that's the cleanest signal you're going to put in that radio. And that's also under the consideration that everything you're going to listen to is recorded at the exact same quality. Not going to happen. What's up from Sweden?
What's up, Sweden?
So you do gain overlap. On the SMD DD1, they have it set up as 5 dB, 10 dB, 15 dB.
Yeah.
If you buy the other unit, you can set it for any gain overlap you want, DD1 Plus. So let's say you go ahead and you set yours up for 5 dB of gain overlap. Now you can go ahead and adjust your crossover. Let's say you've set it to here. Now your driver's tweeter is too loud. You can go ahead and you can start turning that back down. So you're not going to introduce any noise. It's a different thought process of doing it, because most of the time you're used to gaining up on the amplifier in itself and then coming back and going into the processor and sliding it down. You're not actually adjusting it at the amplifier, but this is giving you independent channel level control. So this is a 5-channel amp. There's 5 volume knobs for each channel, or 5 gains as it were. So it's kind of fun and interesting.
Yeah, what's on New Mexico?
Now, you can come over into the settings here, and this is going to allow you to connect or link. This is helpful. Now, what makes this unique is you can link certain aspects of it. So, for example, this tweeter and that tweeter, more than likely, are going to be crossed over at the same point. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to link the crossovers for both of those. That means any correction that I make on the left is going to go ahead and make the same crossover point on the right. Compression is another thing this has. We're not going to talk about that right now. And then level. There again, probably not something you're going to want to pair up. So, but we can go ahead and pair up the crossover. And our amp 2 is our mid-range. We can go ahead and select the same thing. Now, if you want to go ahead and pair the EQ for whatever reason, you can. It's up to you. So if you're designing a system that's just straight up loud and you're not worried about time alignment and all that fun stuff, well, yeah, go ahead, pair up the EQs. Or if you're just looking to get started, like you're not going to, like I like to do left EQ, right EQ, and then turn them both on and hear it at the same time and make any adjustments if I need to. If you just want to do all, go right ahead. It's there to be done. Okay, go ahead.
All right, so Dark say, hi guys, I have components and then you add the DSP. I'm right thinking the functions of the crossover will be replaced by the DSP, so
Yes.
the crossover will be like scrap.
Yeah, you have to choose between using your the one built into the radio or the one that is.
Or I don't know if he's talking about the crossovers of the speaker.
Well, if you're going full active.
If you go in full active, of course you just eliminate the crossover of the speaker. If you go in passive, you still need those crossovers.
Yeah, so like if we were using this 5-channel to do, let's say channel 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is driver, passenger, and we put a set of components up front, a set of coaxials in the rear, we're still going to keep those passive crossovers that came with those components. You're definitely going to need them.
Yep, you don't want to blow your speakers.
Paired EQ is good after EQing individual drivers, assuming there is an overall EQ laid over. Okay, so that's a great. Okay, Sean, that's a good thing that you brought that up. Now, so what Sean is saying is that you can go ahead and link the EQs after you've gone ahead and EQ'd left, EQ right. The problem with that is most DSPs do not link the way you would think they link. Most say link left, link right. And what that means is that you've just lost that EQ setting because it doesn't turn it into a global EQ when you link it. Now we do have DSPs that we're going to get to on another day that will allow you to do that. But if you did that on, let's say, this or an audio control or pretty much everyone else's DSP, even the Audison I have sitting over the Forza, it'll kick it out. And it's just going to link left, link right. So you've just lost that whole left side that you've spent an hour tinkering with to get it the way you want. So you have to be real careful when you're doing that. Also, when you're setting up time correction, okay, there's a couple different ways you have to set up time correction. Not everything is the same. So like on this one, all we have to do is put in the measurements that we've taken. On other DSPs, you have to do what's called subtractive math, meaning we knew that the passenger front door speaker was 57 inches. That's the farthest one out. So now we have to subtract all of those other numbers out of there and get that nice small number. So that would have been 41, that's sucking with my 16, 15. That would have been 15 inches. So we would actually just put in 15 inches for the drivers. And then you narrow. So
what's up, Scotty?
Some of them even want you to do the math and figure out the milliseconds.
Yes.
So make sure you read your owner's manual when it comes to that. Hey, all thoughts on factory versus aftermarket speaker wire for doors, running some DEF-bound stores, feel like the factory wire ain't up to the snuff. Each speaker is going to be running. Okay, that's a lot of power. You're probably correct. You're going to want to run a bigger wire. The one thing you do have to keep in mind when you're doing wiring for the smaller speakers like that is when you actively cross them over, you're going to be, you can actually take in frequency output into how much power is actually getting to them, because the higher the frequency, the less power is actually coming to them just by design of sound. Meaning when you look at a sound and the sound of a song, so you can measure your output voltage of the amplifier playing some music and kind of see what's getting to those speakers, and then decide how much power wire you want to run or what size power wire you want to run, or just be over thoughtful in the get-go and run 16 or 12 gauge to them, because in my mind, the bigger the wire, the better. Yep. So go crazy.
All right, real quick. Hey guys, I have a Kicker CA.
No, it can't, Jeff.
CXA 600 powering a Comp R Comp 12. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can I add a separate
6
channel? I'm sorry. Can I add a separate 6-channel amp to power the speakers? Yes, you can. Yes, you can add a second amplifier to power the speakers. No problem. You just not need the sub output for that 6-channel because you already have that one. So.
All right, so real quick, we're going to jump into the EQ portion of this. And this is where you'd want to play some pink noise and, of course, had some kind of an RTA in there. Can this do left and right? I'm assuming you either mean sum the two together, which we talked about, or split them apart. Split them apart, yes. That's what we were talking about, linking. So right now we have the driver's front mid-bass on. This EQ, this 31 bands here, is just for the driver's front EQ. So if I come over here and I gain up a little bit, I'll move up. I'll move
Okay,
up
so
some
real quick,
more.
apparently a lot of people like the SQ video. That's pretty cool. Some of these people actually get the CDs. That's awesome.
I ordered them myself because
Yep.
I'm not patient enough to wait for Jeff. But as soon as he gives us some, we'll be moving along. Now up here in the top, it tells you that we're dealing with channel 3, so that you kind of have an idea. Now we've gone ahead and moved the EQ up. This is nothing you would ever do, but just to give you an idea. Now, anytime you're setting an EQ, this is bad, okay? Because if you look over here, I just gave this 8 dBs of boost. Holy Jesus, you would never do that.
You can barely see it, but yeah, right
Well, that's
there.
why I'm going over it. So what I'd really be doing, your EQ curve isn't going to look like that. Your EQ curve should look like this, okay? You want to gain down. I'm sorry, pull down,
Pull
gain
down,
up.
yeah.
So in this case, we'll go ahead and pull those down. Now, depending on what my curve looks like, I may need to come over there and up the volume some more to compensate for the fact that everything is playing lower. That's a pro tip, by the way. And being able to control the volume independently for each channel makes that a really cool feature. Now, we're going to come over here, we'll go to the advanced setting because, hey, who doesn't love advanced setting? It's not really an advanced setting. All this is going to do is this is telling you what your channel layout is, so right channel, amplifier, what RCAs are plugged in. And then over here is where your DSP, if you need, or your time alignment is set up if you need to go back and make any adjustments to it. This guy over here is the compressor. I'm not getting into that. We'll go back here to basic. Settings, yep, that was that. Now, select OK.
What's up, Wisconsin? Okay, before you start, hang on.
Yep.
I have a chat issue. So even 250 hertz passive crossover
Right.
on my mid Twitter with the DSP, it's a problem.
Okay. Well,
Having chat issue.
chatter issue? I don't know. That's a tough one.
So yeah.
Dean Floyd sounds better. Yeah, it sounds a little better. Yeah. Did the gain knob disappear in DSP? Did the gain knob disappear? No, it doesn't. Okay, so it has a subwoofer level control.
Oh.
All right, so it has this guy right here.
Okay.
Now, what makes this cool about this amplifier, because remember, this isn't just about DSP. This is about this particular DSP amplifier. Now, what makes this one particularly cool is, hold on, let me get some light on this. Here we go. So what makes this particularly cool is, see that? That's our amp 1, amp 2. Now, okay, so let's play in a couple scenarios here. Let's say that you buy this 5-channel DSP amplifier and you're like, man, this is so cool. I got it running my fronts, I got it running my rears, I got it running some subs. Yay! And then you go to a sound competition show and you sit there and you listen to somebody else's car and they're like, man, you know, and you're like, oh my God, this sound, I need to go active. Now, if you have any other product, you're pretty much screwed at this point because you've bought this cool DSP amplifier and you're like, what do I do? What makes this system unique, very unique, is that all you need to do is buy another 5-channel DSP amplifier.
Yep.
Okay? So what you're not seeing here is all the speakers that are possible of being highlighted here. If you want to go 3 ways up front, all those speakers we had to choose from, those are all available to you. All you have to do is buy another 5-channel amplifier. Through the USB, you plug it in.
Yep.
And what I mean by that is if you buy this USB hub right here that they recommend, which is an IO Gear USB hub, you plug in the USB to this amplifier, you plug it into your other, you resync both amplifiers. The DSP recognizes both amplifiers as part of the process, like one big amplifier. You program everything up. What that means is, let's say you wanted to go tweeter on channels this amp and like you wanted one to be left and one to be right, you could do that. You can set it all up. And it gets even more fun. Let's say you want to do it from an iPad. Well, then all you got to do is buy this guy right here. Okay, this is for 4 amplifiers. So you can daisy chain 4 amplifiers using this guy together in the DSP software or from your laptop, but the iPad is going to be over Bluetooth. Now, what makes this also cool, okay, it's Bluetooth, so you can stream music to it, and it comes with a microphone because you can use it for hands-free calling. Bet you didn't even know that.
No, I didn't even know that.
So,
wow, that's pretty cool.
You can actually use this whole system as a standalone DSP in your car, iPad in the dash, and get Bluetooth calling from the magic little box, iPad in the dash. Hold on.
All right. Let's see. Hey, Dean. Well, what will set the Q Class DSP
Yes.
apart from the other brands?
What
Like a
we're ta-
user-friendly.
Like what we're talking about right now is really what sets this apart from everyone else, is that no one makes a DSP where you can expand on the DSP. So another scenario that I see it being very useful for is, let's say I sell you a 5-channel DSP right now and we put front rear sub, and then you come back, you want to go active front. I can just sell you the 2-channel amplifier that they make that's 150 by 2, and we can put that, boom, we can put that on the mid bass, we can move channels 1 and 2 to the tweeters, and we can keep your rear fill.
Mm-hmm.
I can do that, and then I can give you much more. I can give you 150 to the mid bass, 75 to the tweeters, which is a good scenario, yep, okay, next. So there's a lot of neat stuff that you can do.
Right.
So it basically, what makes theirs different is that you can grow with this product like you can't grow with other products. Other products, it's a one-off. So if you get like somebody else's DSP that is, let's say, a 6-channel DSP, it has an output to go to a sub-amp, but it doesn't have any more outputs.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't really do anything with it. Now here's the iPad app right here. There again. Okay, stop touching the screen. There's the iPad app right there. So here's your frequencies. You basically just move like this. You can go in and you can set your crossovers, so you can do this all from your dash, if you so like. So, there you go. The Canyon unit I bought has a DSP built into it. Will it still be helpful to get another DSP? So there's certain aspects of DSP that are good in a head unit and certain aspects of a DSP that suck from a head unit. The nice thing about a head unit's DSP, and I'll tell you straight up, is that it gets you into the ability to do some time correction. The problem is that DSP has kind of become one of those weird terms that means certain things to certain people. Your DSP in your Kenwood head unit is damn good. There's no question about it. I've set up some amazing systems with just that, and people get in the car and they're like, oh my God. And I'm like, yeah, we did that with your radio.
Yep.
Where you run into a wall is just on the EQ portion of the DSP, because you only have, there again, 13 bands.
For the whole system.
For the whole system. So you can't EQ left, you can't EQ right. So you're kind of stuck.
You're limited of the EQ.
Yeah, so it's very kind of like bummerish there. Now, just to talk about EQs real quick, there's 2 types of EQs for the most part. You have just a standard graphic style 31 band, which is what this is. And then later on, we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about a parametric EQ. Can the audio control do extra channels to run the DEV? No. So it's not designed to do that. It's a one-off deal. So what you do in that case is you get the D6-1200, and then you tune it, you'd unplug it, you'd plug in a second, and then you'd tune. So you'd have to have a DSP setting, boom, unplug it, plug in your other one, boom, set it, plug the other one back in if you need to do correction, boom. Okay, so you can kind of see where this system is
the difference.
Very attractive.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Now, there again, I don't want to talk about one to compare it against the other.
No.
But the key, we're going to talk about, as we do this, we're going to talk about key features that this manufacturer that we're talking about has that other manufacturers don't have. So the expandability, in my mind, is one of the things that makes this amazing. There again, if we go back to that 5-channel...
Sorry, Jason.
If we go back to that 5-channel amplifier, because this bass knob has dual inputs on it, that means I can run both 5th channels into this and control the volume of that subwoofer on 2 separate amplifiers. That's pretty dope. Now, One nice thing about these amplifiers, we'll go ahead and show you the end of the amplifier. Okay, wrong end of the amplifier. We're going to go ahead and show you the end of the amplifier here. Bunch of lights on here to tell you what the heck is going on with your amplifier. But if you'll notice, there's still a bunch of knobs on this amplifier. And the reason why they're there is because if you buy this amplifier and you're like, whoa, no man, I'm not ready for this. That's fine. You don't actually have to use the DSP in the amplifier. You can just use this as an expensive 5-channel amplifier right from the get-go until you get going. It has gain, it has crossover points, okay, that are all fully adjustable. This is a normal 5-channel amplifier, just like if you bought, let's say, since you mentioned audio control, so if you buy the LC amplifier or you buy the D amplifier, the D has the DSP, the LC doesn't. Think of that one amplifier all built in. So this has, let's say, I just want to do gain, crossover, keep it simple, move on. You can do that.
Yeah.
But as soon as you set it up with the computer, that shuts that off. And then these become non-responsive anymore. These get turned off and don't function because now you've set it up as a DSP amplifier. So that's another thing that's kind of cool. So if you just get that, let's say you have that Kenwood radio, and you're like, oh man, I just want to plug this in and get going. I just want to set my crossovers. I want to go. Do it. Get going. Start playing it. Start loving it. And then as you learn more and you start to want to play more, well then you can go in and you can turn this whole nother thing on. Now I will say this. We don't normally talk about price on the show. No. But these are extremely reasonably priced now. So
all right. So the power of this, it's a 4 ohm. It's 65 by 4, a 4 ohm.
Come in the frame.
100. I'm sorry. Okay, 125 by 4, a 2 ohm, and it's 250 a 4 ohm bridge. Then we're gonna have 250 by 1, a 4 ohm mono. And 500 by 1 at 2 ohms. So that's the power.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Lots of power.
Look at that.
Now since we were talking about CDs.
And this is the model number. This is the model number right there. IQ 1005, people.
So, oh man, wake up computer. So we're talking about CDs nuts. So if you guys are into it also, these are not giveaways. I had to pay, God, shipping on these things. These guys are crazy.
Yeah.
But Mecca, M-E-C-A, which was also a sponsor of that SQ show, they actually have 3 CDs too. 1 for sound quality and 2 more for bass. So if you guys are bass nuts, these 2 CDs, not so much this one. Their sound quality one is severely lacking when compared to the Haska disc. It doesn't have liner notes or anything cool like that. So, okay. Is it AB class? No, it is a class D.
It's a class D amplifier.
It's very class D. If it was AB, it'd be twice the size. That's crazy. Such
and twice the money.
Amp produces much power. Actually, it is a small amp, but like you gotta remember that PDX V9 puts out 110 watts. So wow.
Yeah.
Hello from Canada. What's up at Canada? It saves it a bit of wiring as well. What do you guys think about those Tesla style Android head units? So no.
Never play with it.
And I don't want to.
I don't think we're going to.
We played with a brand
Mexico City
sometime last year, and yeah, you know, the problem is they're not made by audio guys. They're made by guys that want to sell those things to car dealerships, and they promise the world and they don't deliver. I have not had anyone, you know, you'll get somebody, Dean has a voice, very crappy one.
Yeah.
Honey. They're just not all that exciting. They're inexpensive. You get what you pay for. Okay?
All right, where can I buy speaker spaces for downfire subwoofer? Check Q Power.
Space?
Yeah, Q Power make speaker spacers.
That's right.
It's like a regular ring. Check that.
Pretty
Check
cool,
the website. But when sometimes we need it, we actually make it. So.
On the MVH 200EX, are you supposed to turn the subwoofer level up to hear bass? Oh, sorry, jumped. At 0, I hear absolutely nothing regardless of gain. Doesn't seem right to me considering all the speakers play fine at 0. And you'd be correct. No. As long as you're in the settings and the subwoofer is turned on. Yeah, that's why I said Ricola. No, as long as you're in the settings and the subwoofer is turned on,
yeah,
it should be putting out voltage at 0. You shouldn't have to turn it up.
What's up, Mike?
There's something wrong.
The 6666, bud.
Yeah. Elevate time?
Not yet. We have it.
Do have it, but we can't
haven't played yet with
because. Yeah. Trust me, this week was really bad. I mean, we're trying to get to the Kenwood. We got to get to that. It kind of sucks. No Pioneer 4550 190X have
Sirius separate.
Yes, you have to buy Sirius XM. So it's SVX 300 tuner. We didn't review that one. We just went ahead and right to the 4600. They're pretty much the same radios.
All right, right here. Do the NEX head units have a Pico fuse to ground the RCAs?
Yeah.
I think mine is blown.
Yes, they do. And there's nothing you can do about it other than send it back. Or, if you're really good, take it apart. It's not, it sucks. I haven't had that be a problem in a long time. How can I use the SMDD1 to get the gains on the Tweak 88? Well, okay, so, when you're using SQ's crap on Android head units. Oh yeah, well I didn't want to go there, Robert. Yeah, no, it's purely.
That's the reason we don't install nothing like that.
When we were talking with the guys in Dallas, they were like, I was asking that same question. I knew the answer, and a lot of times you just ask the question even though you know the answer. And they were like, no, it's really not made for that. And I said, so you'd have to add a DSP, and they're like, yeah. And by DSP, I just mean some form of a box with an EQ and some preamps to make it sound better. At that point, you're feeding it crap though, so it's not going to ever sound great because you can EQ a brown spot and it's still going to be a brown spot just EQ'd.
Real quick, I'm gonna do a shout out real quick to Mike Kaufman because he brings us the shirts, the D and F shirts.
I washed mine and left it at home.
Yeah, me too.
We're gonna have to wear them.
Yeah. But thank you, man. That was a cool shirt. He actually made it. Like an F.
It's literally sitting on my shirt stack to bring in today.
Pretty much.
All right, I'll try to remind you and I'll text you.
I know.
Go ahead. What does the center channel function do on the Kicker DSP and the IQ amps? Does it change the signal, or is it just telling you where the speaker is at? So you're asking the great question of does it have an up mixer? So, and what I mean by upmixer is upmixing is the ability for a DSP or a processor to take a left and right signal and extract out a center image. Okay? Most DSPs have center as an option. And basically what they're doing, and there you go. They're not doing anything magical. They're not upmixing. And to answer your question, this does not have an upmixer built into it. That's what it is. One other funny thing about this is you can actually select center channel 4, channel 5. The problem is it doesn't play, it's a center subwoofer output, even though it says center, so it's kind of weird. You do need to have a full range channel, and the sub channel on this is not full range. It only plays up to 250 hertz. So your center channel is from 250 to 20. It's kind of weird. I had to call him on that one because I got really excited from the get-go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Cool.
Hang on. Somebody say, I just bought the Alpine DSP, awesome unit, running it active to my 3 Alpine. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna bring that one in and talk about that one too. Probably a little bit because I want to swap out the Forza for the Alpine.
Yeah.
Because it's 8 channels as well.
What's going on? I try.
So for those who didn't catch the SQ video, we're gonna be reviewing this one here soon as well.
Yeah.
What do you got?
All right, Focal
BAM.
Yep.
Roadkill, etc. Are they worthwhile doing?
Maximize the new speaker install.
Totally, man. Totally. I mean, basically what you're asking is it worth sound dampening the car?
Yeah. Sound treatment.
So Kicker DSP is not a parametric. Correct. It is just a graphic EQ. Just 31 bands up and down. Just like
no, Jeff, it's next Saturday. Next Saturday is gonna be Dean.
What are we asking?
Next for the show. Next Saturday.
What about it?
Then I'm not gonna be here.
Next Saturday.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? We were going somewhere. I was talking about something.
I don't know.
Totally lost my train of thought.
Yeah. The parametric.
Yeah, I answered that one.
Okay.
It's not. What does this say? I'm using the 9905 as well, but still use much more power. Yeah. Oh, definitely. Oh, we were talking about cheap radios.
Yeah.
Yeah, they suck. Let's just go with that. The USB port on my NEX23 has malfunction. Will this require completely motherboard swap or just parts? The other features work perfectly. You know, that's a great question. I actually had a guy this week came in that had his iPod cable that was just shredded and all gooed up, and you know the wires were all hanging out, and he couldn't understand why CarPlay didn't work anymore. Well, two of the wires I answered that. Two of the wires had touched and shorted out the USB section in the radio. So shocking it was. So he had to take it out and send it back for service. That sucks. So get good cables, man. If you have to use the Apple cable, I strongly recommend putting shrink wrap over the ends. For one, it makes it much more convenient to find because it's now shiny red instead of white.
Correct.
But also makes it extremely stiff and it doesn't break as fast. It will still break, trust me. I have a wife and a daughter and they've managed to break them. But hey, it at least buys me a little bit more time.
Okay.
Right dang, there. I want to be here for the Alpine DSP. I've got it. Don't worry. There's an opportunity for everyone to be here. Yep. And the nice thing about YouTube is if you're not here, you can always ask questions afterwards.
Exactly.
It's a wonderful thing. Where does the Kicker DSP place on the list of all DSPs? So I really don't have a list as far as what's cool, you know, what's the most amazing DSP ever.
No.
I like to think of the Kicker DSP as a unique DSP that does a feature that, okay, so let's talk about, it's very unique in that it offers that feature of, it is a true DSP, badass, but yet it has a feature that almost no other DSPs have, almost no other. There are a few very expensive DSPs that you can actually piggyback DSPs so that you can take one 8 channel DSP and piggyback it into another 8 channel DSP, and then the software will recognize it. Way more expensive just the DSP than this whole amplifier, so we'll slow it down, killer. But we always talk about it, what makes a DSP a DSP. So, you know, if we come over here to the advanced section, and it has the time correction, so we're good there. That'll allow us to go ahead and add in the delay. Now, when we talk about time correction, like we assume everybody knows what we mean by that, and I apologize. Basically what that means is I'm sitting here in the car, there's a speaker that's over here by Fernando, and then there's a speaker that's right here by me.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is we would love to be able to move this speaker out so that they're both the same distance. That would be like sitting in your living room. But we can't do that. So what we do is we add delay, frequency delay, because you physically can't add it. You know, you're just adding through digitally slowing it down so that in theory it arrives at your ear at the same time as that speaker. So that's why you're measuring them. So if this one's 35 inches and this one's 16 inches, it's going to add in that 14 inches of or 20. You get it. Yeah, screw it, math. Anyways, delay, so that they'll both try to arrive at your head at the same time, at your head. So you're measuring from here, not here. You're measuring from here because you're doing a one-person car. And by one-person car, I mean it's going to be for the driver.
Yep, correct.
That's what these DSPs are set up for. So it gives you the ability to do that. It gives you the ability to, it has 4 channels of input. It has 6 channels of input, both high level or low level. So that's nice. That's not a prerequisite of a DSP. When you come back over into basics, it has level control for each channel. That is one of the most important things, is having level control. Because remember, tweeters arrive faster because they're more directional. So if you have a tweeter right here in your face, it's going to get there a heck of a lot quicker than this mid-bass is. So if you're one of those guys that just goes in and uses the DD1 to maximize your gain output so that you can get the most power possible, that tweeter is going to be making you blind before you ever hear that mid-range, just on the pure fact that tweeters move faster. Can you show example of adjusting the EQ on the IQ with the RTA displaying live pink noise? In other words, show the RTA live and adjust the EQ.
Probably that we can do.
We can't do it right now. That is, yes.
Yeah.
So that is actually going to, once we get to review this video, we are going to be doing, in that video, we will show you an actual live response. For these,
Saludos, Sergio.
It's kind of hard to do that on this, so, but we will show you that and the actual review of the video. We just want to help kind of talk about software, because we talk about software so much on here. That it's we figured it would make more sense to us to just move the conversation along and give you some examples that make you go, Now keep in mind, you don't have to actually own this to download this software and play with it. Most of these DSPs you don't. It just makes it nice because we have it here on the counter. We can show it to you. Yeah. But no, we definitely want to get to that point to where the review for the amplifier, the actual review, when we'll have that so that you can kind of see what's going on. But here it's kind of not all that cool. Anyways, so then back to this. We have a full crossover, meaning we have a fully adjustable crossover, which is key for being a DSP. You want to have a fully adjustable crossover. Not as important, but nice, is to have different types of crossovers. At the end of the day, more than likely, all you need is Linkable Riley. Butterworth, if you're doing 12 dB work, Butterworth is okay. But other than that, you're going to want to stick with the Lynx. Put Mrs. Butterworth back in the refrigerator. It has an EQ.
Yep.
Now, it has an independent EQ for each channel. That is also very important when you're deciding on your DSP. This has it.
What side, John?
This does not, because this is just a radio DSP in a box.
Literally, it's just the EQ in the box, yeah.
So, those are really the four things that I look for to make something considered an actual DSP. Processor, call it what you will. Alpine has parametric, yes it does. And we'll get to that when we talk about the Alpine. I like the Kenwood personally.
Personal preference.
There again, Kenwood has, when we're going to try to get that on the bench too, we just have to screen share an iPad. The other thing too that you want to keep in mind when you're deciding on your EQ DSP, which we kind of grazed over last week, is what's the values of the outputs that was on the birth certificate. See if you can grab the birth certificate in the box if I haven't lost it yet. What are you going to be using to set your DSP? So with this guy here, out of the box, you have to use a Windows laptop. If you add in this guy here, which is the IQ-i, then you can add in an iPad.
Okay, so the max power. It's 1179 max power, certified, right there. Boom.
Perfect. Now on the Alpine DSP, out of the box, you can use a Windows or you can use a iPad/iPhone. Audio control out of the box is Windows or Mac. Forza out of the box is just straight up Windows. The Phoenix Gold that sits right there, we're going to talk about. You were asking about being able to sum left and right EQs and then just make an adjustment so that they don't override each other and use it like a global EQ. That guy right there will do that. It has everything and Wi-Fi. So out of the box, that one will do Windows, Mac, or iPad. So these are things that are important that you as the end user has to keep in mind. That Pioneer, that does none of it. It just does iPhone, and you physically have to keep your phone plugged in all the time in order to get the 31 bands. Otherwise, it just goes to 13 bands. Do you ever plan on building a loft in the bay, maybe one with a kitchen niche? I would love to build a loft in the bay. Unfortunately, above the lightings is only this much space, so no loft. We don't have a lot of room like Doug does where he can make a little hideout for Rafa to live up in.
Right. All right, so where's the best product to use the steering wheel controls? It's personal preference. Like some people like the Access one.
So let's explore that just a little bit, because we've talked about DSP. Hey, it's Jeff talking about.
Hey, Jeff.
8.8. 8.8. That's your baby right there.
Yeah, right there.
So that's his. That's his baby. So if you guys are like, oh, I like Mr. Jeff Smith from the video. He was talking all this coolness.
That's his DSP.
Well, all that coolness went into this DSP.
Yeah.
So it does everything.
Yeah.
Anyways, but it's only 8 channels and it won't do this. Won't do this adding thing that we can do here. Sorry, buddy.
All right,
let's talk about steering wheel controls for a
Yeah.
minute. There's 3 basic companies. There's 4 companies that make steering wheel controls. Scosche doesn't count. We'll just get them off the page right away because if you're using a Scosche, really?
What? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing against it. It's just really.
Mm-hmm.
So you have PAC, which makes 3 different steering wheel controls, not to mention their integrated steering wheel controls. You have Metra, which makes ASWC1, and of course they have some integrated ones now. And then just stick with ASWC1.
Okay.
They know that. And then you have iData,
Yeah.
which is digital. Now, I'm a big fan of the SWIRC. However, as cars are moving forward, fewer and fewer cars are going to be able to use that because it's not a data bus controlled. So that takes you to the CP2. The CP2 we've talked about on the show a whole bunch of times. You can go download the CP2 and the CP5 control app on your phone. You can get all your wiring, all your install guide, everything right there. It's very cool. It makes life so much easier. It's a great reference. There it is. PAC Control Pro. Boom. There's CP2, CP5. Now the CP2, you just flick a couple dip switches on the side of it, and it will be programmed. You don't have to do anything else. You just wire it up like it says to wire up, and you move on. And of course, I'm gonna pick the one car that just I'm just randomly pressing buttons here. So it gives you this dip switch setting right here. You go ahead and you flick these dip switches. Sorry, it's blurry. Okay. The 4 bank tells it what kind of radio it's hooked up to. The other bank tells it what kind of car it's in. You select next. And then it's going to give you your wiring diagram. It's going to give you your plug. There again. Okay. So I'm gonna,
No. To the camera.
I'm trying to get a glare. Okay, so download the app. Anyways, on here is the wiring diagram, it's the plugs, it's all the neat stuff. You can kind of see it if I do that, get the glare out of the way. Anyways, simple. And then you're done. You plug it in, you're done, you wire it up, yay.
Yep.
If you buy the Metra one, you wire that in and then you hit volume up or down on the steering wheel control at the very end. You just keep hitting it and then it reads and then it's programmed.
Yeah. Now you can go also into like pacaudio.com or metroelectronics.com and read the owner's manual of every steering wheel controls, and you can find out.
Yeah. And then the iData one, what iData does, now if you've never installed a steering wheel control ever in your life, never, ever done it, and you're like, I'm going to do this for the first time, iData is awesome. If there is an iData steering wheel control interface for your car, and you know how to work a Windows laptop, it might be the one you want. Because all you do is plug it in, you flash the module, you tell it it gives you a picture, and you tell it what you want each feature to be, and then you hit flash, and it's flashed.
You don't have to do nothing.
If you want a volume, and keep in mind, you can do this with all the other ones too. This one is just very picture driven. It's kind of like the Garmin of steering wheel controls. Then you go, would you like your wiring diagram? And then they give you a wiring diagram just like the app does there, and then you hook it up.
All right, what's the Rockford EQ on the Compact Power Series amp? It's a 5-channel, not sure what it does.
Oh, bass EQ.
The bass EQ?
Bass EQ.
Okay.
Well, actually, it's bass or treble EQ. So that's a throwback that Rockford has had for years and years and years. And basically, it's the Mo Betta bass button. So Rockford has like a loudness control built into their amplifiers. Yeah. What it does is on most amplifiers you see bass boost where it has 0. They've actually named theirs and they call it bass, or they call it EQ. So if you want your mid-range to sound more warm and inviting and you have it crossed over high pass and it'll know that you're connected to a high pass, you can go ahead, turn it up, and it'll add an absorbent amount of mid-range and some treble into the signal. Recommend doing it. It's a great way to blow some speakers because you're going to turn it up too much and then you're going to try to EQ up front and then and then your tweeters go, oh, quit, stop, and then they sound like me.
Marco, DSP, definitely a DSP.
Now for the bass isn't such a bad place to have it because there again, everyone loves an epicenter, we know that. But not everyone can afford an epicenter or wants everything.
Like a real epicenter.
Like a real epicenter. Now, it's not like an epicenter, but it does add, there again, a little bass boost to it.
Right.
A little salt and pepper on it that will help make that small sealed box or big porta box sound a little bigger. So yeah, it's not bad. But clipping is definitely a speaker's worst nightmare. It's one of them. A screwdriver through it also sucks. I mean, if we're just thinking of things that are bad. But I will tell you too, when you're adjusting that bass EQ, since you mentioned clipping, gotta be careful because you will clip the amplifier really quick. So if you're doing the adjustment on the amplifier, yes, you're gonna want to turn that up as you're adjusting for clip. So like if you're doing the -5, -10 dBs of overlap, and you're like, you're turning your gain. No, turn your gain back down, turn that bass EQ up a little bit and see where you're at. Because if you set that gain for -5, -10, and then you go in there after the fact, hey, now I'm going to turn my bass EQ. Pfft, kiss those subwoofers goodbye. So, I have done a screwdriver through a speaker. It sucks. Actually, it was funny, and not funny, haha, more funny, sad. So I was talking with. Is there a good song for checking my time delay? You want something with a strong vocal. There again. Okay.
Gracias.
If you go to DNF Tool Drawer and go to the meter section, on there we have 3 test tracks. One of them is the 3 people talking. The 3 people talking is great for time alignment because what it does is it has a guy over here, I'm talking to the left. And the chick goes, I'm talking in the center. And it's a chick for a reason because they're harder to do. And then there's another guy over there talking. Download that. You'll get an idea of what it's supposed to sound like. And then you can kind of move through your music library and find something that has a good, strong vocal in the center. It will take some time. Now, if you have a really nice set of headphones, you can listen to your music library and find that song. Because basically what that means is that's a song that when you have your headphones on, he should sound like he's right here in the center of your head and other stuff is going on around him. Pay attention to where he's at. Make sure he's not doing this and doing this because nothing sucks worse than when the guy decides to sing like this and then, hey man, what's going on? Because then it screws up the whole image. Sometimes they do that to make it sound more live and it's so freaking annoying because you'll be sitting there like, and then he'll start walking across your dash and be like, you're a jerk. So vocal, jazz vocals are really nice. Honestly, a lot of country stuff is pretty good too because it, like Nick said, it has instruments.
Yeah, it has instruments. Like salsa. Salsa has instruments.
Salsa has instruments too. Like that one song I have of yours, I love that song. What does it say? Paul Simon. Ooh, yeah, I have a good Paul Simon song that I like for that too. Just have to be careful with him because there again, sometimes he gets really gung-ho and starts to move around. Okay, so I forgot. If you go back to the SQ, when we go to the SQ show, in the notes for the show, the description, is a link on iTunes to Jeff's tune list.
Hey, it's Justin. Hey,
Justin. What's up, man? So if you want the songs Jeff uses to tune cars, you can find them. You can find it in that playlist. Or you can find a link to the iTunes playlist. Now, if you don't use iTunes, that's cool. You do have to have iTunes on a device in order to view the playlist. But then you don't have to buy them from there. You can get them from wherever you want. But they're all right there. He uses Sex and Candy.
I love that song, man.
Yeah.
That mid-bass, like...
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, it's a good song.
It's awesome.
He's doing a deal with Jeff to get an 8.8.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Big band, awesome. Big band is good. So this CD that we were talking about, the Miras Mecca CD, has a couple big band songs on it too. It's not a terrible CD. It's just
a CD.
It's just a CD.
Exactly.
Anyways, that's the end of the show, guys. That's been an hour, and I'm amazed I made it through it, and I can still talk. This has been the Kenwood DSP. We hope you guys enjoyed the DSP section.
Whoa, this is the Kicker DSP.
Oh, we were talking about the Kenwood DSP when I got sidetracked.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we're going to talk about that when we get up to that, because that's a neat DSP too. It'll be fun. Anyways, this has been the Kicker DSP. This has been DSP Talk with Dean and Fernando. We hope you guys enjoyed this a little bit.
Sorry.
Naturally, as time goes on, we'll figure out more and we'll make it even more interesting. But we just wanted to give you guys the ability to kind of see this stuff and get an idea of what's happening. It's fun. It's car audio.
Okay, so don't forget,
You can find us at Patreon. You can support the show. You can find a podcast, iTunes, Google Play Music, Podbeam. Don't worry, there's more coming. 5-star stickers at yahoo.com. Get you 3 free stickers. Doesn't cost you anything. You just got to go there. If you email me or if you ask in here, you're not going to get stickers. You have to go there because that goes to email that I don't get, and she takes care of it, and I don't have to deal with it.
If you want any tool that what we're using here,
DNF Tool Drawer is a place to go. It has everything there. And soon I started working on the reference page or for all this cool stuff that we talk about. That's all going to be on there. And sorry, I didn't mean to clap my hands. It's been fun. It's been real. We hope you guys have a wonderful Easter weekend if that's the kind of thing you're into. If not, I hope you just have a wonderful weekend. Remember, Uber, Lyft, cheap.
Mexico
Be
City.
safe. Have fun.
See you guys later.
Yeah. Bye.